Controversial.
Is one of the website's most fascinating YouTubers. He gains over 1 million views per video by traveling to extremely isolated areas. However, with accusations of credit card fraud, unexplained court cases, and most notably controversial behavior toward women, to say he has a hidden dark side would be putting it pretty lightly. Take for example his very first video titled "I Love India's Policewomen," in which he spends roughly 3.5 minutes firstly swooning over female cops.
I saw what at first appeared to be a mirage, but they were no mirage. They were Indian traffic cops, and they were beautiful.
Before filming some pretty questionable shots with some more creepy commentary.
I stayed in the city an extra day, for no other reason than to gaze upon them. In fact, I'd often stop to ask needless directions just to see their smiles up close, maybe feel a slight hint of their breath on my skin.
Many of the video's comments echoed, I knew it, I'm not the creepiest man alive. However, despite being a pretty creepy upload, there was no denying the footage was interesting, especially to a Western audience, by showcasing similarly interesting culture shock footage like a $1 Indian gym, Mumbai's largest slum, and a stolen item market. Boredom Bankrupt exploded in popularity.
Attacked at India's most expensive hotel. $2 Indian street massage. Pain or pleasure? India's greatest getaway driver. I mean, the thing I respect is, bro, he's uploading the video regardless of the length, bro. If he's uploading it 8 minutes just so that way he can get the mid-rolls, then it's like, alright, bro. But he's uploading 5-minute video, 7-minute video, like, bro, like, you know, that's respect, bro. I respect that.
All while maintaining his vocal love for the opposite sex.
So
There's
no
two
thoughts?
things that I like in life: markets and women. And here I've come to the world's only all-women's
I don't have any
market.
thoughts.
In other videos, Bald's comments became much more expressive.
Oh, sexy little things in a hijab. I'm a little bit scared to flirt. I do like a woman in a hijab. Is the hijab one when you just see the eyes? It's very sexy when you just see the eyes. Leaves a lot to the imagination. You start imagining what's under the rest of it.
Although since there were
Repeat the people in the background.
You just see the eyes.
This nigga right here. This nigga looking like, bro, look at this weird ass nigga holding this camera, bro.
Leaves a lot to the imagination. You start imagining what's under the rest of it.
Although since they were nested in highly
Bro, why did he make that face after he said that, bro? Look at his face.
Leaves a lot to the imagination. You start imagining what's under the rest of it.
Although since they were nested
It would have been better if he just started mewing right here,
in
bro.
highly interesting
that would've made it
videos,
better, bro.
nobody seemed to give them a second thought.
I found someone who's looking for girls like me. Where are the girls at?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You wearing a denim jacket and you got it buttoned all the way up to the neck? Come on, gang. Come on, bro. Just unbutton the jacket. Like, bro, what is this, bro?
Let's find some chicks.
Excluding what seemed to be one single person who wrote, maybe one thing this channel is
Okay, there might actually be a way to pull that off, but like, he ain't pulling that off, bro.
missing is a little bit more respect for women. They're either pretty, so they're like objects and creepily talked about.
It can't be ass. I mean, it's your opinion, yo. I mean, like, my list just looks a lot different.
Or they're big fat women with cankles. I love this channel, but yikes, it's weird. To which Bald actually replied, I have news for you. Men objectify every woman we see or meet. We place them in two categories, would fuck them or not. It's reality. If you think that is creepy, go ahead. But it doesn't change the facts of how
this thing is crazy. Objectify everyone we see or meet.
How men think, which had been commented on a video, could be go ahead, but
even Cola, of course not all men will admit it. I was with Cola not long ago and he's doing. Yeah, this, wait. What? Okay, wait. Oh, wait, let me see what he said. Wait, she said, maybe one thing about this channel is missing a little bit more respect for women. They're either pretty, so they're like objects and creepily talked about, or they're big fat women with cankles. Yikes, it's weird. I stay in hopes of Chloe updates. Look, bruh. Everybody don't do that, bro. Honestly, that's just weird. I think like, maybe in, like, middle school or something, I was just like, oh, yeah, this is a girl I would want to, like, talk to, or this is a girl, like, I would just be friends with kind of thing. But yeah, just like, I don't know. I feel like during high school, you kind of like get all that out, like all this, and then you kind of just become a normal functioning member of society after that. Dude, like he like 40 still doing stuff like that. That's kind of weird, bro.
It doesn't change the facts of how men think, which had been commented on a video where Bald had stated this.
Argentinian team has some hotties on it. Next stop, Argentina on the world tour, I think. But I have no actual interest in watching polo. Although watching some Argentinian girls bouncing around on a horse might be fun, I don't know.
Any Argentinian people staying here? Any blonde Argentinian girls, you notice?
His outlook only
Said
became more
blonde
solidified after moving to
Argentinian.
Russia in 2019.
Look at the boobies they've given her. Oh my god, they're huge. They're bigger than Tanya's.
Although we'll have to come back to the topic of women later, as in the meantime he'd find himself in a totally unrelated controversy. During a video titled The Last House in the Chernobyl Village, Bald met a man named Kolya who lived in a derelict forest house with no power or running water. The two struck up quite an unusual friendship, filming 6 different videos together during which Bald had an idea. He chose to launch a line of merch with Kolya and videos together during which Bald had it.
Solo through the Chernobyl swamp. Look what I found in the Chernobyl zone. Alone in the Chernobyl forest. Delivering vodka in the Chernobyl zone. Return to the last house in the Chernobyl zone. Last house in the Chernobyl
Videos together during which Bald had an idea. He chose to launch a line of merch with Kolya's face on the front, the profits of which would be given to Kolya so he could increase his standard of living, and this seemed to work perfectly.
He didn't give him the bread. I would have assumed that. Okay, thank you for actually unbuttoning the shirt. Thank you. But I would have assumed that based as soon as you said he launched merch with his shirt with his face on it, bro. I instantly knew that he wouldn't have get that. I'd be wary on anyone actually doing that. Even myself.
I had a t-shirt campaign, and I said I was going to raise some money for someone.
Shouldn't be on there.
Guys bought the t-shirts.
One second, I'll get into that in a second.
So I'm going to come here and hand it over to somebody.
Bald gave Kolya a handful of banknotes, later clarifying the amount to be.
I left him with the equivalent of what was about a year's pension money.
Although since the amount of money was somewhat visible on camera, people were able to pinpoint exactly how much money was given. In my eyes, Bald has only given him 4 banknotes, which would be roughly 400 rubles or $200, which meant he only gave away the equivalent of 20 t-shirt sales. Not exactly a year's pension, is it, Bald? Although another post made things even worse. Bald failed to give Kolya any of the estimated 10,000 money from the t-shirt campaign, apart from the $300 he gave on camera. It turned out that Kolya wasn't even aware that he'd been filmed, and these kind people showed him the videos Bald made about him. In Bald's defense, giving 10 and these kind people
Returning home not far from his old home, working out to a big village, and also had a helper channel who helped him is called Kolya the Storyteller. Trying to receive many threats to leave Kolya alone, and he's property of Bald. What? But he still selfishly raised the money. Wait. What?
showed him the videos Bald made him.
Not for fame, just because he's a good
About him. In Bald's defense, giving $10,000 to someone with a severe alcohol addiction might have also been a terrible idea.
Don't spend too much of it on alcohol, but Kolya's his own.
I mean, like, come on, bruh. He Russian, bruh. He gotta, you know what I'm saying? You wake up with a shot of vodka every morning, bruh. And they don't even use regular mouthwash, bruh. They use vodka.
Man, I just hope we haven't killed Kolya.
But while Bald and Bankrupt might have done the right thing here, there were more Russian controversies just around the corner. During an upload titled
Okay, giving him $10,000 is crazy. I mean, like, technically Bald is still the one who sold it, right? I would at least give him, like, if I made 10 bands off of another person's face, right, sold out of the shirt, 10,000. I'm giving him 2. Personally, I'm giving him 2, maybe even 3. If I made money using his face, I give him 2, maybe 3. I think that might be a fair estimate, right? I think that might be fair. 2 to 3 bands, bro.
Would you ride the night train to Chechnya?
Half is kind of stretching it. Obviously, I'd make sure that he even agrees to, you know, be on the shirt. We'll do this. You know, I'll tell him the plan and everything. I'll tell him he's getting 30%. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell him the plan. Now, if he wants to negotiate 50, we might be able to have to meet in the middle ground of 40, right? But still.
Was back to talking about women by stating,
hopefully at some point in the night at some stop a Chechen chick turns up and shares my compartment with me and I can put...
a Chechen chick? How do they look at her? Are you talking about like Czech Republic? Chechen woman. Oh, he did, so he liked it. Oh, okay, yeah.
Put on some romantic lighting. Salam alaikum, sister.
However, as a result of calling Chechen women chicks, Bald was forced by the Russian government to apologize for the insult.
By the Russian government?
Это некрасивый вид. Прошу прощения, люди в Чечне.
But with comments,
The Russian government got on his ass? That's crazy. Hey, bro. He had to lock in with this one, bro. Hey, he might have been able to get away with scamming the old dude, but he couldn't get away from the Russian government, man. Putin found out about that. He put matters into his own hands.
such as lol forcing someone to make an apology for a random flippant joke. Chechnya sounds like a ridiculous place. A nice healthy reminder never to go there. Most people understandably thought that Chechnya was being ridiculous. However, Bald's next controversy was 100% his fault. British YouTube star behind Bald and Bankrupt detained at Russian Space Center. British YouTube star with more than 3 million followers is arrested near Russian spaceport in Kazakhstan. British YouTuber ordered to pay
What you mean alongside female companion?
fine after Russians detain him at spaceport. Bald had actually filmed the day all of this went down and would upload it under the
Who's
title
that in the background?
Spaceport. Bald had actually filmed the day all of this went down and would upload it under the title This
Video caused an international incident.
video caused an international incident. He and a female accomplice had snuck into an old Soviet spaceship hangar without realizing the military had been notified, who were on their way to arrest them. Bald was released with a measly £60 fine.
Oh. 10 out of 10 would do it again.
However, the arrest might have played into something more serious, which happened only 32 days later. He'd uploaded a new video titled The Journey is Over, in which Bald explained he'd been unexpectedly arrested on the street and was forced to leave the country.
I'm being kicked out of Russia with immediate effect. Banned from coming back.
In the months prior, Bald had called Putin crazy and shown his support for Ukraine, the reason for which was explained during a
Alright, bro. I get it, bro. I get it. You know what I'm saying? He not necessarily the most right in the head kind of guy, right? You in his country though, bruh. And you done already like kind of made them upset already, so now they gonna be kind of watching your channel real closely. So now that you saying stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You lucky he ain't skin you alive.
released interrogation video. He'd state, when you have a face on YouTube, if you want to earn money, you need to say what people want to hear. If you don't, it will be a problem for you. Every YouTuber received an email from YouTube where they said you may only talk about the situation in Ukraine from the side of the Ukrainians. You can't tell it from the Russian point of view. If you do this, then you won't be able to earn money from advertising on your channel, with the audience again taking Bald and Bankrupt's side. Bald was really
What kind of community is this?
smart here. He clearly just speaks what is needed to get out of that situation. That's what I would do, the only aim is to get out. Anyone who thinks that Mr. Bald is a hypocrite has never experienced an encounter with Russian authorities.
No, true. You have to say what they want to hear in that situation. I thought he was talking about, okay, alright, never mind. That makes sense.
He's an absolute genius and a certified legend.
Yes, getting out of the Russian situation, yes, that makes sense.
Besides, being thrown out of Russia meant he could go to some new countries, where in Syria he'd post a story to his Instagram, reigniting an old point of criticism, discussions about women.
Oh, man.
Visiting Syria
Jeez
thinking,
Louise.
it must be hardcore there. Probably going to be a week of no alcohol, and must not look at girls on the street, or else I'll be beaten up by...
Bro. Russia's trying to take Ukraine. Ukraine's saying no, and they holding them off, bro. Crazy. You would have thought with the way they've been hyping up Russia over the last like 5 years, bro. You would have thought Russia would have came in and steamrolled Ukraine, bro. Ain't been anywhere close to that so far.
by angry brothers. Reality of Syria. Guys inviting you to bars to drink and constantly telling you to go to Homs to see how hot the women are there. My kind of country. Just a few months prior, Board had posted another story reading, throwback to 6 years ago when myself and HB were just a couple of red-pilled young chads traveling across Siberia having adventures.
Red-pilled young chads having adventures. Wow, that is quite the sentence.
We'd love to repeat those escapades and film them, but of course YouTube only allows for watered-down versions of trips. Hashtag censorship sucks. Bold seem to imply that
Post it on Rumble then, gangy. Post that on Rumble, bruh. They ain't gonna delete nothing on Rumble. They ain't got no... They ain't gonna stop you, bruh. They ain't gonna stop you, bro. Go ahead and live stream all these little, you know what I'm saying, these adventures or whatever. Go ahead and live stream it on Rumble, bro. I'm sure you can talk to Sneeko, and I'm sure Sneeko can, you know what I'm saying, set something up for you, my boy.
During his trips, he'd seen more than just the local tourist spots, and as a result, a subreddit was created titled Bald and Boarded Dossier, deeply investigating Bald and Bankrupt's history. They'd find that Bald had used the online alias Vorkuta, which was the name of a small Russian town that Bald had spoken fondly of in an article that he'd written. A person who'd met Bald in real life also confirmed that Vorkuta was his alias, and you therefore might be wondering, why is this important? Well, Vorkuta, who later changed his name to The Fantasist, was a prominent member of the pickup artist and sex tourist website Rushv Forum, where prior to beginning YouTube he'd talk about wanting to head to places completely off the track, where he could find provincial seedy nightclubs with puke-stained carpets and suburban housing estates full of disenchanted and hopeless girls, in which his white god status is maximized even more. Bald also talked about faking his level of wealth in photos such as these, which helped him to sleep with an 18-year-old last summer when he was 38, with this video titled Dirty Secrets and Double Life of Bald and Bankrupt exposed, giving a pretty good summary of Bald's 1600 forum posts. It's therefore no surprise he joked about being a pickup artist, and when someone commented on one of his videos, big sex pest vibes. He can't help but bear creep around any woman, and it's been the same for years. Bald responded by stating, a sex pest for years? That's absolutely unfair and untrue. I've actually been a sex pest for decades. Bald was seemingly exercising his strategy for dealing with criticism.
How do you deal with it when people are like saying terrible things about you? I suppose every YouTuber has their own techniques to cope with that mentally, but for me, like, embrace it, love it, and amplify it. When someone says like, you're the biggest wanker in the world, you say, that's right, mate, bigger than you'll ever know, even worse than you think I am. What are you gonna do about it?
And while this works pretty well 95% of the time, doubling down on a sex pest comment was something he probably should have just ignored. It didn't help that he was also accused of SA in the year 2000, and while an article on the incident confirmed that Bald was acquitted, the judge stated their behavior towards the woman had been appalling. Combine this with a forum post where Bald bragged about his Rohypnol game, and another joke on his Instagram reading, if you see this man, do not approach but call the police immediately. He is wanted in connection to a crime where Rohypnol was used. It's not hard to see why some might think that Bald's a bit of a creep. On top
instead of Rumble, he's probably Kick.
of this, Bald had suspiciously changed his name from Benjamin Rich Swift to a more simple Benjamin Rich, the reason for this being explained by Bald and Bankrupt himself. He'd state, I owed £30,000 on credit cards and bank loans here in the UK about 5 years back. There was no...
They're getting support now. When it first started, it's not like the shit should have been over within like the first couple days, maybe 2 weeks. Then they started getting support and shit. How are you gonna...
way I could pay it back. I decided to change my surname to my mother's maiden name and change address, and I never heard from them again, for which the audience actually admired him. I respect him more now. Scamming a bank is morally right. What a beast. Keep on traveling, bro. Which is exactly what he'd do until he'd post an Instagram story in Germany. Only been in Europe 2 minutes and already been ripped off. £15 for 3 mouthfuls of pasta. Germany, just like the UK, must be a failed state. They need their old leader and some Hugo Boss suits back in power to sort things out.
Yo, chill out. Chill on Germany, bro. Germany ain't doing nothing wrong, bro. Yo, Matt, appreciate the follow, bro.
out. After Bald posted that to his Instagram story, he'd received a text from his mum reading, "Glad you arrived back safely but not sure about your comment with the food," prompting Bald to post another story reading, "My mum always worried when I'm trolling with based comments. Mum, get off Instagram, you're too old. In fact, if I find you on here again, I'll start posting my collection of George Floyd memes," which on the internet of course ruffled some feathers, although for a slightly funnier reason. It was based from a 48-year-old man is actually crazy. After Bald also showed extensive support.
Wait, why did he have a Kim Jong?
Based from a 48-year-old man is actually crazy.
What?
After Bald also showed extensive support for Andrew Tate.
That Top G has been. Wait, what? Where did you think this go to? Only now the 5 minutes.
He was slammed by NFKRZ, despite the two collaborating together in the past.
Red pill circle jerkers, digital nomad.
Oh, I thought that was a PS5 Slim right there. I was about to say, he tapped in.
Expat fucking bold and bankrupt looking ass.
And as a result, it seems their friendship completely disintegrated.
I randomly accidentally found out that Bald actually blocked me on Instagram completely.
On top of blocking NFKRZ, Bald wiped everything else from his Instagram, leaving one single image with a pretty heartfelt caption. As I wind down my YouTube career, I'm looking forward to slowly going back to being Ben from Brighton once again, instead of Bald from YouTube. If I'm going to be congruent with that desire, then I should remove as much of Bald and Bankrupt from the web as I can. Interestingly, that had been posted on the 7th of July 2022, which was the same day as when his forum posts were first exposed on YouTube, almost certainly explaining his
the Iraq method. Okay.
Sudden desire to quit. Impressively, however, Bald and Bankrupt soldiered on and continued uploading high-quality content, possibly realizing he could only look to the future, as he had no way of changing his past. However, in a recent interview with Joe Fish, Bald and Bankrupt stated that he'd pretty much completed his travels.
I've been very, very fortunate, and I can say that I've pretty much ticked off everywhere I truly want to go. I'm more interested now in learning more about my home country than I am about seeing those other places.
And while Bald has definitely had somewhat of a bumpy history, him quitting YouTube would be a depressing end to a channel loved by many with so much future potential.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, like, he could have been, bro, he could have streamed, bro, I ain't gonna lie. During the Russian interrogation, he was making excuses to not go to a Russian prison. I would not take what he said about YouTube seriously. No. Bro, yeah, I mean, bro, he had to, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro, he had to get up out of there, bro. Them Russians would have had his ass on the front lines at this point. He's the only person who can make a near average YouTube career sound like a crime show. No, facts, bro. Cause like, is it criminal yet? In the end, you're hopeful for his future. Yeah, I was about to say, bro, it started off like, oh, okay, this is weird. Like, yeah, he has some like weird stuff with like, he didn't said some weird stuff, but then it's like at the end you're like, yeah, he had a pretty promising future and stuff. Like, hey, I'm starting to, hey, I seen this video, bro, that was saying that Sunny V2 is probably a robot, bro. This might be an AI account, but I don't think that's true because AI, like, how early would it have started then? Unless somebody had the account beforehand and now all of a sudden now they're just like straight up AI, like, because that didn't really make no sense. Surprisingly controversial is kind of crazy too, though. With the amount of controversy that was in that, but okay, average UK dude on vacation. All right, yeah. I mean, yeah, that was a kind of a strange end, but all right, bro. This is an okay video.